Hello, this is Michael with Starseed Tarot and Readings, and I'm back with another reading. This is a general reading and is intended for those who are just looking for a message of guidance or assistance in whatever situation that they are processing right now. At the moment of me releasing this video, it will be during Mercury Retrograde, and we are actually in the thick of Mercury Retrograde right now, so this message may be relating to this particular phase of the planetary cycles, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that as well. I find that sometimes when I do readings, they mostly come up, or my decision to do them is based on some of the messages that I get during these like intense moments of planetary shifts. And so I felt called to do this reading as we are coming out of or in the midst of Mercury Retrograde. So for this one, February 2021, it ends February 21st. And so right now we are in the second week of February, and we still have maybe a week or two more to go before Mercury Retrograde ends. For this reading, I will be using only tarot. The first deck I will draw from is the Light Seers tarot deck, and then afterwards I will pull cards from the After Tarot deck. Alright, so without further ado, I will get started. I will pull 3 cards, the first one being the card that represents where you are right now. The second one will represent what shadows need to be cleared before the situation can be resolved. And then the third card is illuminating. This card represents the energy that is needed to be channeled for the best possible outcome. Okay, I will go through them again as I go through the individual cards that get pulled, so that it can be a little bit more clear what the messages. Okay. All right. We'll do a cut, and here we go. So again, the first card is grounding. This is where you need to be, the Devil. So it does feel that whatever it is that is in control of you, whether it is the constant thought of someone who has hurt you in some way, you are currently in where you are right now is processing how to let go and how to move forward. I have been getting a lot of messages of moving forward in this current Mercury retrograde phase. So this is an indication of that you are in a place of wanting to let go of things that have controlled you, right? Whether it be intentionally, non-intentionally, whether it be an actual like person's actions, or just the thought of how in a way like a replaying of how people have hurt you, or unintentionally or unintentionally. And so that's kind of what I am getting with things that are coming to the surface for you to process during this Mercury retrograde. The next card is what shadows need to be cleared before the situation can be resolved. And the Hermit, right? The Hermit. If you are not currently in hermit mode, that is probably because this card is upside down. This could be an indication that this is what you need to do. Maybe step away from things that are connected to being in like virtual social groups, or stepping away from either social media, or stepping away from the virtual collective to do some of your own inner healing or inner guidance. So utilizing your own light to guide you out of this situation of wanting to let go or move forward. The Hermit card has been popping up a lot too in many of the readings that I have been coming across, is being comfortable in hermit mode. It could be a situation too where you are not yet comfortable with being alone. it could even be a situation where you have been so used to being around a lot of people that in hermit mode, it almost makes you feel uncomfortable. And I'm getting a lot of like fear of missing out energy. So something that you are being called to do right now is to seek solitary, seek, how do I put this? Find a sense of like calm and healing while being alone, right? So being confident in that, being confident that you can guide yourself out of this place of stagnancy and being stuck. Okay, so I will return that back up to upside down. And then the last card is the card that represents the energy needed for the best possible outcome. So what is it that you need to do right now? Abundance. So Nine of Pentacles, that you are almost done, that you have this in the bag, that you know you can do this. A lot of times our inability to overcome some of the ways that we feel that people control us is because we feel like we being conditioned to feel that we are incapable of being independent without these people, right? So some of that energy that needs to be channeled is how can you still be an abundant person, still be able to create your own abundance and manifest your own dreams and goals without the assistance of others, right? So a huge emphasis on independence, in that you are the person who is in charge of your abundance. You're the person who is in charge of your goals and your dreams and wanting to fulfill them. It is nobody else's responsibility other than your own. Obviously, there are obstacles and there is a lot of red tape for us to be able to define whatever success means, or how to implement the plan that we need to fulfill those dreams and goals. But ultimately, it's your decision making on how to navigate those systems to be able to make your dream come true. And so believe that you are full of abundant energy and life, and you have your own light. Believe in your own light, right? Believe that you are your own sun. You provide your own, you can make your own food, just like plants. And I'm getting a lot of green energy, so channeling that earth energy, right? Plants really only need soil and water to thrive, nutrients in the soil and water and sunlight, right? So how do you become independent and still be able to thrive without needing somebody else to thrive, right? And so that is what is being brought to the surface. Believe in your light. Believe in your light. Believe in yourself that you can do this alone. You can do this alone without somebody else. You can do this even if you are in a situation where you are cohabitating with a significant other or a partner, and at the moment, you know, you feel a sense of obligation or responsibility to do your part. Know that you, while you have this obligation, this responsibility, don't be defined or confined by the current situation, not being able to go out and look for a job, or don't feel confined by, you know, this obligation to give so much of yourself away that you don't have anything left for yourself. That's the overall like energy that I'm getting. That is the main energy that I am getting, is that while you have responsibilities and you take accountability for your part, don't feel that you are worthless or any less, or that you don't have enough to give, right? Or that when you do give, that you give everything away and you have nothing left for yourself, right? So a sense of dignity and a sense of pride, pride that doesn't stem from ego, right? So pride that doesn't stem from ego, but being able to channel that inner light to feel empowered. I've been also coming across a lot of messages of empowerment. So how do you empower yourself to believe that, you know, this is meant for me. I can do this. It's gonna be a long journey, but I have this in the back because I have all the skills and the resources to do it, right? At the same time too, also being aware that it is going to take time, and being patient with yourself to know that it is going to take time. It doesn't happen overnight, but that you have it in you to be patient enough to see how all of this is going to unravel as time takes place. Okay, it's like you don't put muffins or cake batter in the oven and then pull it out 10 minutes later, even though it's supposed to be baking for like 15 minutes. You don't pull it out at 10 minutes and expect that it's gonna be cooked all the way through. If you pull it out too early, it's still gonna be mushy in the center, and then you just have raw cake batter, right? So you have to wait. There's a reason why the universe is telling you to wait. It's telling you to wait because it's baking something, right? It's still trying to bake something for you, prepare something for you. And in addition to that, like you have to be willing to collect all the ingredients and also put it together to the right ingredients to put together so that you have a delicious recipe. And when you put it in the oven, that you feel confident that when you pull it out at the right time, everything is going to come together, right? I've also been getting a lot of messages of starting to re-educate yourself or relearn a new skill. This is a perfect time for that, as we are in Mercury Retrograde. What does this mean, right? What does this downtime mean? What can you do during a downtime? What do we do in a waiting room, right? So channeling that, like, what do we do in a waiting room energy, right? And so that is what I'm getting. So I'm going to pull the After Tarot to just I kind of felt like it just seemed right to pull out my After Tarot deck. After Tarot deck reveals the design in itself. It reveals the scenario after what is typically like depicted in the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot deck. So I felt that this deck would be helpful for people who need to see what it is that they have already done, right? So in a way, it's like, what have you already done, and what can you be proud of? Okay. Okay, so there is Two of Cups, Ace of Cups, and Three of Swords. Okay, so this one came upside down. What have you done or haven't you done? I had confidence that these cards were going to come up upright, but they came upside down. So maybe whatever it is that you haven't done needs to be done, right? So other things that need to be taken care of, things that were not done in the past, they're coming up to the surface right now for you to do this. And some of that is Two of Cups, reflection. You can see two people embracing each other. Two of Cups, the Cups is about reflection and emotions. There could be either a breakup or a severance of a relationship, and that needs to be rekindled, or it does not need to be rekindled. However it is, it needs to be resolved for you. It depends on how you are seeking closure to. Do you want to rekindle this relationship? Someone told me that if it is a relationship that is worth, if you are able to see that they are able to be moved or meet you in the middle, then obviously those are signs that maybe this is a relationship you want to cultivate. If this is a relationship where it doesn't seem like anyone is going to budge, or that both of you are too stubborn, that maybe this isn't the right relationship to cultivate, right? A great way that they put it was, if this is a relationship that seems movable, cultivate those relationships, right? Cultivating meaning like you're helping it to thrive down to the very end of harvesting, right? Harvesting the rewards within this relationship, which is company and companionship, right? I don't think that this is something that is going to thrive though, because of the Ace of Cups. It's in reverse, right? So we have the Two of Cups here, it's in reverse, and then we have the Ace of Cups here, which is in reverse. And so whatever it is that you are needing to let go of up here, it's telling you like, hey, that's done, like, you don't have to try and make this work, you don't have to find closure, this is it, you know. And then of course we have the Three of Swords coming up. I always find the Three of Swords as heartbreak, right? I also find it that swords for me is always about logic and thinking and strategizing, and trying to process all the details and the elements of a certain situation. And for the Three of Swords to come up, I'm kind of feeling that this is a situation that has run you down mentally and emotionally. And in the Afro Tarot deck, the Three of Swords, the swords are still in the heart. But with this deck, what it's revealing to me is that, you know, you can take these swords out. You can take the hurt out and begin to heal. So begin to heal. Begin to figure out whatever it is that needs to be healed. Start that process so that you can start letting go. When drawing these cards, I was also channeling the energy of what has already been done, right? What has been done in the past, and it seems that you are open to the healing process. You are open to beginning to heal, and this person who has had some sense of like control, whether it is that they are intentionally controlling you, like still actively, or in a more passive or spiritual and emotional sense, in the way that you are allowing them to take, I've mentioned this before, a lot of people mentioned this before, is allowing them to rent for free in your mind, right? Being able to let that go. You're starting that process now. And this is more so confirmation that you are beginning that process of letting go. You're beginning that process of like, you know what, I know more where my worth lies. You're starting to pull back that sense of self-worth and returning that agency back to yourself, seeing yourself as separate from this seeing yourself as separate from the group of people that you have felt that that's where your worth lies, right? Subconsciously, finding yourself as individual and unique from this group of people, right? And beginning that process of healing. So again, with the Hermit card in reverse energy I'm getting is that don't be afraid to channel that energy of the Hermit, finding and seeking healing alone. Obviously, finding guidance within the right people to help you heal alone, but not necessarily being dependent. So being able to draw those boundaries too in solitary mode. Have those boundaries, being aware of what those boundaries are, and knowing how to use that boundary as, you know, this is what you're willing to give to and what you're willing not to give to, right? That's what boundaries are there for, to know how to disseminate between what energy to give to and what energy not to give to, if that makes sense. Okay, so this is all that I have for the general message of this reading today. I hope it resonated with you, and if it doesn't, as always, take whatever resonates and leave the rest.